You might be sipping on a soda right now. People drink a lot of soda, and Oklahoma needs a lot of money. A former state lawmaker is putting two and two together to try to help close our major budget hole by creating a soda tax. We are joined now on the phone by former state senator Jerry Ellis. Thank you so much for being along with us. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Our state, of course, facing a nearly $900 million budget shortfall. So you came up with this idea. You've created a plan to tax soda. Want to start with this question. Why soda?
Well, it's widely used and it's a luxury. It's not part of a healthy or balanced diet. And the 12 years I was in the legislature, this is the only tax increase in measure that I introduced when I was there. And the reason I did, Democrats were in control back in 03 and 04, and we had a $678 million shortfall then, and we needed a way to generate revenue that was painless, and so that's what I came up with. And I still think that it's a good solution today. I think the Republicans are coming up with solutions that are a lot of what the Democrats offered when they had a large shortfall back 14 years ago.
Obviously, no secret that our state needs a lot of money. We're talking about $869 million here. Harvard looked into this. A Harvard University study estimated that we could get about $26 million with a 1-cent tax per ounce. But $26 million compared to a budget hole of $869 million, isn't that kind of just a drop in the bucket? I mean,
well,
is that worth it?
Wasn't that for Oklahoma City? I think if you go statewide, I think like you could put 2 cents on every 12 ounces of soft drink sold in Oklahoma, and you're going to generate about, I'm guessing, compared to the figures that we used with the increase in population, probably talking about $80 million. And if you do a nickel on every 12 ounces, you're probably talking about $200 million state dollars.
200 million state dollars would knock us down back to about $600 million in the budget hole. And also wanted to ask you too, as a former state senator, how were you able to propose legislation? Not a lawmaker anymore, so how are you able to kind of go about suggesting a proposal like this?
Well, just hoping that someone that's serving right now will pick this up, and it'll be an option for instead of tobacco or sales tax or fuel tax or broadening the sales tax base or eliminating tax exemptions.
Okay, so kind of turning yourself into a bit of a lobbyist. I've seen some argue that this targets the poor or the lower class. You can buy sugary sodas in bulk for a lot less expensive than healthier drinks. What would you say to that argument?
Well, I don't think it's going to stop anyone from drinking a soft drink, and you see people that are on a very limited income, and it doesn't stop them at all, and it's not going to. The things that we called over, like I said, many of the same things the Democrats tried, and the Democrats, they proposed in 04 a tobacco tax, and it was put on the ballot. The voters did pass it at that time. They considered a 1-cent sales tax in 03, the Democrats did. And, of course, it was placed on the ballot in 2016, and it failed by 60% of the vote. You go to fuel tax. When I was there, the Democrats proposed 7 cents on diesel over 4 years, 5 cents on gas over 3 years. Nobody in my district asked me to vote to even place that on the ballot. Fuel taxes, motor fuel tax is a killer tax. It's not only, it doesn't end at the pump. It's factored into freight and transportation on almost everything that you buy. We're looking at broadening the tax list. The Republicans are talking about now. And this is a backdoor means to get more sales tax after the voters said no on November the 8th to paying more sales tax. We talk about eliminating tax exemptions. Democrats talked about this in April of 03, and they proposed it. I don't think the Republicans, the majority, have changed their stand. And I'll quote, at that time, Minority Leader Todd Hite from Kellyville, the Republican Party, said, "We've had a clear message from across the state that this would be damaging to our economy to remove sales tax exemptions." So I would be surprised if the Republicans are willing to go to something like that. So if you're not going to do these things, then what are we going to do? Because we've got to have a balanced budget.
Obviously, something needs to be done. We are running out of a little bit of time for this segment, but quickly wanted to ask you, for this legislation, how will you define soda? Does that include sparkling water? Does that include Gatorade? How do you define soda specifically in this proposal?
Any sugary drink, and I can go back and pull up the bill that I introduced in 2003, but it's ever how the person that's going to carry it would like to have that written up, and they have excellent staff members there, and I'm sure they still do when I was there, that will write it up and help on this, and so it just depends on how they want to write it up. But I know that there are lots of people that would say we don't want to do anything as far as new taxes. Well, that is not an option. Nobody wants to pay more taxes, but we also have to have a balanced budget, and so we need to look at the most painless way that we can accomplish this without causing ripples in the economy, like a fuel tax, and like I said, they didn't want the sales tax. I don't blame them. And so that's tobacco. We've gone to it before. They may go back to it again, but they don't have time to put it on the ballot. They chose to put the 1 cent sales tax, and it was defeated. So I don't know. I'm sure they're going to find some things that they can eliminate on exemptions, but I don't think it's going to be a popular move, and I don't think the Republicans are going to be eager to go this route.